I was 25 selling insurance for a company called Farm Family. And I was in a business training seminar, and I sold property and casualty, and I sold life insurance as well. And the rule at the company was you have to sell half of each. I was doing really good with the business sales, but life insurance was pretty tough for me to sell. It's a tough conversation to have a life insurance conversation with somebody, telling them, you're going to die, who's going to pay Timmy's college fund. So in my business seminar training, they pulled me aside. They say, hey, John, you're doing great with the business sales, but what you need to do is learn how to pivot and let the client know what their fears are and sell them life insurance. So they basically told me to scare people into buying life insurance. And I closed my briefcase, shut my phone off, and quit forever. And I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was stuck with a decision. I wasn't really sure what to do, so I just kind of worked with my uncle. He owns his own heating and cooling business, so I was kind of just working with him, passing the time. So one day we had ESPN radio on, and I noticed that the hosts were god-awful. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably go to school and do a way better job than these guys. And I decided right then and there that I was going to go back to school. So at the age of 25, I signed back up for Hudson Valley Community College. I originally went there in 2005, kind of got out of it, and decided it was time to go back. So I went back, and I was taking a journalism class. And for extra credit in this journalism class, if you write for the school newspaper, you can miss an assignment or two, and everything's fine. So right then and there, I left the class and I went to the office of the Hudsonian, which it was called, and I pitched an idea. It was called the NFL Weekly Picks, and I had their EIC review it, and he flat out told me, that wouldn't work for our newspaper. We want everything localized here, and, thanks for coming in, but if you have any other ideas, let me know. This was probably 2, 3 o'clock on a Friday, and he said, by the way, our deadline's 4 o'clock on a Friday anyway, so it's probably not going to happen. So I went and I did it anyway. Handed it in, and he liked it, and it became a staple in the newspaper. From there, I took a larger role. I became one of the main sports writers there. Very next semester, I became the sports editor of the newspaper. From there, I networked with the Valley Cats, a minor league baseball team for the Astros, who shared a stadium with our baseball team. Met the media relations guy. He gave me a press pass for the summer under the stipulation that I was writing for the Hudsonian. Kind of lied. Wrote for myself, and I got a press pass through there. From there, I met guys that work at the Gazette, and I got an internship at the Daily Gazette. Did well there. They gave me a letter of recommendation to go to UAlbany, so I got into UAlbany from that. Started writing for the Albany Student Press, covered the football team, I covered the basketball team, I traveled all over. I went down to Stony Brook, went to Vermont a couple times, went to Penn State. Was at pretty much all the games, and from there I met Roger Weiland from News Channel 13, ESPN Radio, and he gave me an internship at ESPN Radio. So 2.5 years after going to school, I was in the building in which I planned on being in. So that was kind of a cool experience. And from there, after the internship ended, they hired me. So now I currently work for Town Square Media, and I created my own website / show that I use the ESPN Radio studios for. It's called Rated R Sports Talk. I'm now the sports editor of the Albany Student Press. I do a ton of local media, local sports stuff. I still write for the Gazette when they need a writer covering a game. I just signed on for the Albany Patroons, which is a professional basketball team. They are in the North American Premier Basketball League. It is a brand new league, and that's kind of where I stand now. I am not sure if I'm a junior or senior here. I got to meet with an advisor today. But hopefully I graduate soon and I get a job in local sports media, or I work for myself, and that's where I'm at.